Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Tuesday, March the 25th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
With a nod to the Blue Jays' rich history while celebrating what's current, there's plenty of new at the Rogers Centre heading into the season, including more places to watch the action.
We are in our brand new Club 328.
Tucked along the right field line, the members-only Club 328 is the newest feature for fans this year.
Could you imagine just taking in the game, having a drink, maybe a hot dog, and taking a look at our outfielders right here? It's pretty cool.
With a bar at field level and details like a card wall of players dating back to 1977, it comes after renovating the outfield 2 years ago and then the bottom level last year. These are the final touches on a 3-year project to completely change the stadium into a ballpark.
My picture's up there somewhere.
Longtime Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez is a fan.
It's not Exhibition Stadium, I'll tell you that. It's fabulous.
And there's so much more to Club 328 than just the bar. You can see this large area here, but it actually expands. If you follow me around the corner, we're not just going down the right field line, we're actually going beyond the right field wall as we're standing underneath the bullpen and we can look at an unobstructed view of the field.
Elsewhere, there are a number of unique food and drink offerings for fans to try, where even the chefs have their favorites.
I gotta say the pastrami panini for sure.
Shaking up a cocktail that goes into night mode. And speaking of night mode, there are plenty of promotions for fans to get a little something extra.
This year we have 68 of our 81 home games feature a promotion, and that is either a theme day, a giveaway, a specialty ticket, or a unique event.
From bobbleheads to the popularity of the dark City Connect jerseys, over at the Jays shop, the goal is to expand on what is already popular.
For you're a gal that wants to really go out on the town after the game and get noticed.
Adding a little shine for fans on opening day.
Down here on field level, there's a lot of work that needs to be done before opening day, but don't worry, it's not going to be done by me.
There are 5 different types of dirt and clay that make up the infield, along with finding the right mix of sand and rubber for the turf.
It's an art and a lot of work.
But they'll be ready for opening day this Thursday, creating a fan experience like none other. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
It's a high-stakes game for Mike Loftus, keeping the ball rolling at his pinball business. U.S. tariffs and Canada's reciprocal measures mean the entrepreneur and his customers are navigating a maze of new costs.
It's pretty well hitting us on every angle. We've experienced about a 75 to 80% decrease in sales.
He says the price to purchase machine parts from the U.S. has increased by 25%. Things like coils made of copper, balls made of metal, and flipper bats made with steel. Costs he has no choice but to pass on to clients.
So I would be literally selling the parts at a loss to absorb that 25% tariff. But it's kind of like playing a game of Baccarat because we don't know what the tariffs are going to be tomorrow or the next day.
That uncertainty is creating more setbacks.
Loftus has stopped selling brand new machines like this one. Before tariffs, they retailed for at least $10,000. Now the price tag is more than $12,500, a cost most customers aren't willing to pay in case tariffs are lifted.
It makes you think twice and 3 times before kind of shelling out that kind of money.
Steve Tremblay's pinball collection started with a family gift on his 50th birthday. He's worried that providers like Loftus will be priced out and he'll lose the convenience of a local shop. Despite the bumps, fans are determined to keep the lights flashing and flippers flying.
The death of pinball has been foretold several times, and yet it's still standing.
The hope is that the tariff war will end soon. They aren't ready to power down their passion for pinball. Maria Saru, CTV News.
No, but it's glory. Caleb Patri's SUV, now a home away from home for these Guelph University golfers, after Patri received free tickets to the final day of the Players' Championship in Florida just the day before in a social media giveaway.
Texted the team group chat and asked if anyone was interested in going, and then right away Beck and Liam were in, so 2 hours later we hit the road and off to Florida.
The Griffins left Guelph around 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, March 15th, and planned to head straight south. But
I realized I don't have my passport.
Actually, none of them did. So Patry's girlfriend drove from Kingston to deliver his, while the group made stops in Thornhill and Burlington to get the other passports before finally heading for the border.
So it tagged on a little bit of extra time onto the already very long trip. But I think now we know it was worth it.
Here I go, here I go, here I go. And worth it was. News of their 21-hour spur-of-the-moment road trip quickly spread online, even catching the attention of professional Joel Damon.
He referred to us as the Ontario boys. So he felt like from that point on, we kind of had to represent for Ontario.
When the group arrived in Florida, they customized golf shirts by writing Ontario boys in Sharpie and ran about 3 miles in the rain to the first tee.
As soon as we walked in the Players' Championship, literally as we were scanning our tickets through the gate, someone was like, "Oh my God, you guys made the trip."
The Ontario boys took photos with anyone who recognized them, including Damon, who saw them from the field of play.
He turns around, he comes up to us and was like, "Hey guys, like, how was the drive? Like, anything I can do for you?" And then he reaches to his back pocket, pulls out his wallet, hands us a $100 bill and says, "Go get some beers."
But it gets better. As more golf groups kept reaching out, the group was invited to play 2 rounds at Hammock Beach the next day, then to the TGL event at the SoFi Center, where they received VIP treatment. Oh, and they met Rory McIlroy.
Him knowing who we were, it was just unreal. I had a smile on my face the whole time. Immediately called my father and, pretty much telling him, like, this is insane.
Despite minimal sleep, the group played one more round, this time from an invite for Dyes Valley at TPC Sawgrass before heading home.
It's really hard to just put into words, but what a road trip and what an adventure it was.
It's hard to, pinpoint one highlight specifically.
Their faces now making the rounds in the golf world, all 3 still basking in the trip. One thing that's changed, though, they'll keep their passports handy for any future decisions.
I think I might keep it in my backpack at all times, just in case Pat offers me another ticket to, another golf tournament. I got to have it on me at all times.
While they are back here in Canada practicing in Guelph, the Ontario boys say even if they don't turn pro, they already have a piece of the pros' hearts. Colton Ween, CTV News, Guelph.
What's up, what's up, what's up? What's that, boy?
And it was just so natural and so organic that Zach just, grabbed him. They hugged, and Jelly Roll was like, "You're strong, buddy, you're strong." And it was just amazing.
This wasn't part of the original plan, but for 18-year-old Zachary McElveen, it was a wish come true.
It was amazing to even get the chance to go to the concert, and then everything else kind of happened by chance.
Zachary, who lives with a heart condition, cerebral palsy, and an intellectual disability, was granted a Make-A-Wish trip to Ottawa to see his favorite artist.
Why do you like Jelly Roll?
Love him.
Love him?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite song?
Say me.
The family thought they were just going to the concert, but what happened next was pure fate.
If it wasn't for his dad and stepmom Allie, who took him to breakfast that morning of the concert, and the bus driver for Jelly Roll was there and overheard Allie talking to Zach.
The driver helped arrange backstage access for Zach, his mom, her partner, his dad, and stepmom. They got to meet opener Josh Ross and then Jelly Roll.
As soon as Jelly Roll starts coming, he's like, "What's up, what's up, what's up?" And Zach's like, "What's up, boy?"
I want to take a second to Zach McElveen, Zachary.
And the love didn't stop there. Jelly Roll gave Zach shout-outs throughout the show and saved something special for the final song.
The whole crowd was chanting, "Zachary, Zachary," and it was beyond. I mean, we were all in tears, and Zach was just, giving her.
What started as a wish turned into a once-in-a-lifetime experience this family will never forget.
The way the stars aligned, it was just such an amazing experience. I can't even really tell you with words how much it meant to all of us, but it was a dream come true for each and every one of us.
Zachary, Zachary.
Nolan Ion was in his grade 10 gym class at Keswick High School last Monday when he suffered a pulmonary embolism and cardiac arrest. He was eventually transferred to Sick Kids for emergency surgery, but he did not survive, dying 2 days before his 16th birthday.
He loved hockey and just loved life. Coaches loved him, teammates loved him.
Very likable kid.
Nolan's father recalling his love for hockey dating back to when he first put on skates as a toddler.
Just loved going outside and shooting pucks, and you hear them banging off the side of the wall of our house. I think he wanted to make the NHL one day. That was his dream, but here we are.
In the aftermath of his death, Nolan's Upper York Admirals decided to turn their U16A playoff series against the Barrie Colts white team into a single-game fundraiser at the Georgina Ice Palace.
I think he would be disappointed in me as a coach and our team if we didn't pursue this game or some game for our final game of the year.
Both hockey associations actually immediately came together and said, listen, this isn't about who's going to finish off this season ahead of the other team or anything. Let's just come together like a big hockey family.
The game featuring a friendly competition as both teams mixed up their players. There were no enemies on the ice this night, just sportsmanship and support for Nolan's family.
I miss him a lot, and he was very sick, and I want to be with him the whole time.
His girlfriend Maddie, his teammates, and others he was involved with in minor hockey paying tribute to Nolan by signing his number 86 Admirals jersey and sporting his name and number on their equipment.
Noticing him gone, like times like this, sitting in a dressing room with all your friends, you almost look around for him, and it's been really hard.
He's always been a good friend of mine, and this game is just, in my opinion, I think it's a good goodbye to him.
A GoFundMe for Nolan's family has raised more than $78,000 since his death.
I just can't believe all the support everyone's given us. There's a little bit of light to shine on with what all the support he's been getting for the last week or so.
Mike Lang, CTV News.
Now I'm under pressure, I've got to get it right. It's a busy day in Churchill Square, and alongside the usual signs of spring, a more unofficial sign of warmer temperatures to come. An outdoor celebration.
With it being spring break, I think it's a great opportunity for, the kiddos to be able to get out of the house.
On offer this week, snakes and ladders, giant Lego, and rainbow magic.
I'm just going to come by here with a little bit of rainbow magic.
Once that magic settles, Amanda Panda is teaching some young pupils the art of the hula hoop.
Now is the perfect time to get hula hooping because it's spring. You can learn outside, so I already have some little girls here that are really excited to learn some hula hooping.
Bob Rasco with the Edmonton Arts Council is also inside the Pyramid of Seasons. He has a different job today.
2, 1, rocket!
Balloon rocket scientist.
I think that's an alternative career, a little side hustle. It's working out.
Although events like this are about much more than rockets.
It's great to see those smiles and the kids discovering some new things.
We used to come downtown a lot when they were younger, and I just want to get back into that and enjoying what there is to offer.
I think it's really great to be able to see that regardless of their age or wherever we come from, that everybody gets to come and just celebrate being together and just having fun over the spring break.
Families spending valuable time together and maybe even picking up a new hobby.
It makes me feel really good because I didn't see this style of hoop dance that I'm going to be showing them today. I didn't see it until I was an adult.
Spring on the Square will continue through the week, so there will be much more rainbow magic for those who missed out today.
But do you think the cameraman needs rainbow magic?
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
There was a combination of heavy rain, melting snow, and warm temperatures on March 16th, which caused severe flooding inside and outside the Arnprior District Humane Society building. Assistant Manager Becca Hanna was first on scene.
Opening the door, there was water inside the building when you first opened the door. Water in the front rooms. Where the outside enclosure is, it was all covered in water as well. So messaged my manager, got people here as soon as we could, started pumps, started shop vacs, moved cats out of the way.
All 80 cats were not affected by the flooding. Cleanup and repairs will cost at least $30,000.
The way the property is graded, it just made a big pool and puddle all the way to the back.
Insurance won't cover the damage as groundwater flooding is excluded from the policy.
Sadly, this wasn't covered by our insurance because it was groundwater and an act of Mother Nature. So we're having to foot the cost ourselves.
With no government funding, the shelter relies entirely on donations and fundraising. Staff and volunteers have been working around the clock to clean up the mess and keep the cats safe.
It's been a lot of calling different people, getting quotes from different companies to see who can help us faster. Our big concern is the cats, making sure that we're not stressing them out by like the equipment that needs to come in to dry and everything.
The Humane Society set a fundraising goal of $20,000 and has already surpassed the halfway mark.
If we can even get over the 20,000, then it would be less money coming out of our pocket to pay for the damage and the repair.
Despite the damage, the shelter remains open. Many of the cats were able to stay dry on shelves and beds mounted on the walls. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Got it, and he does. It'll be home ice advantage for Brad Jacobs and his rink from the Glencoe. Moose Jaw will host this year's Men's World Curling Championship.
A lot of people have come up to me and said, oh, it's too bad. You guys don't get to go on a big, long trip, see somewhere fancy and, experience something new. And I said, my response to that is I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but in Canada.
This will be Jacob's second time curling for Canada at the Worlds, and both times were in Canada. The last time was in Victoria in 2013, where he won a silver. Jacobs doesn't think there's any added pressure at home.
I think anytime that you can have the crowd behind you can definitely create an advantage. And I'm just looking forward to throwing on the Maple Leaf at home in front of our Canadian fans and hopefully creating a lot of excitement as a team for everyone in the arena as much as we can.
No one is happier the Worlds are in Moose Jaw than Ben Hebert. He was born in Regina.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty special. Like you say, I've never got to play in a World Championship at home, but, we've played in a World Championship in Moncton, played in Olympics Vancouver, World Championship in Lethbridge, and anywhere, like Brad said, you hear the Canadian, fans roaring and waving the flag, and it's pretty awesome to hear those roars on your side.
Third Mark Kennedy says winning the World Championship is tougher than winning the Brier. He says Team Canada will have to be on top of their game if they want to come away with the Worlds.
Looking at that schedule, I think we're preparing for no easy games. We're going to do everything we can to try to get in the top two so we can get that bye to the semi. But the depth here is definitely deeper than the Brier, and we're going to have to be at our best.
You turn the machine on.
Turning on a hemodialysis machine inside their bedroom has become a regular nightly routine for Bonnie Field and her husband. She was diagnosed with kidney failure 20 years ago.
Tried a number of medications and treatments, but things progressed to the point where I needed either dialysis or a transplant.
Field ended up getting a living kidney from her youngest daughter, but sadly lost it within 24 hours due to a blood clot.
I had to eventually have my precious kidney that I had just received, I had to have it removed. And that started my journey with dialysis.
She began in center for 6 months, 3 days a week for 4-hour treatments.
As I stabilized, my doctor asked me if I would be interested in doing home dialysis, and we jumped at the chance.
Field eventually received another kidney from a deceased donor, but it only survived for a year. She says she's now come to terms with being on dialysis for the rest of her life, adding that home dialysis has made a massive difference for her quality of life.
It is so freeing, and it's made me feel so much better. When I was in center, I would get cramps in my legs. I would come home with a headache and go right to bed. I did not feel well.
I hooked these all up to the machine, and then, and this is kind of how I live now.
Christina Howard, a familiar face to CTV News, a former journalist in London, can relate to Field's story. She, too, has had a living donor kidney transplant, but unfortunately, after 5 years, it failed last year after she contracted COVID. She's now back on at-home hemodialysis.
I'm lucky that I'm able to do this at home. If I had to go in center, I wouldn't be able to continue working.
Howard, who works full-time as a reporter in Toronto, says her immediate family has been ruled out as a match. She's now putting out a plea for a living donor with type O blood.
I'm on borrowed time right now, and that's the reality. And I really want to keep living.
Rita Ismail, CTV News.
It's a celebration like no other, a podcast that honors the cultural identity many cherish on Wikwemkong. The podcast 365 Jingles launched its new season, all in Anishinaabe.
They are creating 365 short story monologues, plays, to share with the world of this beautiful language in Wikwemkong, the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi language. We're very unique There's not another language like this in the world.
The artistic endeavor is a tribute to the culture they hold so dear on Manitoulin. Made possible by a grant from the Canada Council for the Arts, the goal is not only to share their language, but to make it more accessible to those wishing to learn it.
Prior to this, we did do another podcast, which is the 49er Project, which is 49 short stories already on Spotify. So this is going to be added to that.
I kind of approached the elders of our community at Wikwemkong on Manitoulin Island to share these stories that they could perform under 5 minutes each.
While 5 minutes may not sound like a lot, 365 podcasts certainly is. It's a tall order, and they've lined up some of the community's most notable knowledge keepers to help them accomplish their task. With dozens of contributors and family names like Corbier, Shawanda, Pelche, and Manitowabi, to name a few, it's clear this is a big effort.
It's a creative way for a listener to hear our story and to hear the preservation of our language through story. So an expression of a childhood memory that may include, seeing the serpent in the water on a fishing trip with your grandfather.
According to King, while Wikwemkong has 8,000 band members, there's only about 500 who are fluent. 365 Jingles is available now. Ian Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
It all began with the arrival of this box at the beginning of the school year, which included, Piper Robertson says, an unexpected invitation.
We just sort of go on a bunch of missions.
But before that, Oliver Borziak says the students in his grade 3-4 class at Millstream Elementary had to make a pledge.
That we will never do anything mean.
And always, Quinn Gardner says, do everything you can to be kind.
Be kind before everything.
After everyone enthusiastically agreed, they donned the headbands in the box, and their teacher, Jenny Boulanger-Borziak, encouraged them to begin brainstorming kindness missions.
When you make it theirs and it comes from their heart, they really leave with so much more than just a lesson. The feeling stays with them so much longer.
The ninjas started small, making bracelets to give as random gifts to brighten people's days, volunteering to tidy up the school grounds, and creating cards they'd hide in other classrooms to show their appreciation for others.
And then they were like, Madame, we want to go outside of the school.
So the kindness ninjas started making valentines to deliver to veterans and constructed crafts as fundraisers so they could hire a bus to travel to a long-term care facility and entertain the elderly around the holidays.
The red-nosed reindeer. We sang songs and told jokes. I just really like seeing the smiles on their faces.
The kindness ninjas felt so energized by the experience, they decided to focus their next big mission on helping the unhoused and pledged to raise $10 each for a total of $210.
We like being nice to people and stuff.
Nolan Kerr single-handedly surpassed their goal by donating all the money he got for his birthday, $250. Others went above and beyond, too.
We ended up raising $3,671.
Then, all the kindness ninjas gathered on a weekend to participate in a 5K walkathon.
We were tired, we were cold, we were hungry, but we didn't give up.
And as they grow up, these kids say they'll never stop cultivating kindness in their community because, as Piper explores in her book, being a kindness ninja just feels so good.
It's like a wave. If you be kind to someone, they will be kind to someone else, and then that could lead to a better world.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Langford.